Hi guys, this time Harry is back with an American psychological thriller film, Fractured. Ray and Joanne get back from her parents' home, they keep quarreling all the way until the Walkman of the daughter goes out of battery, they still stop. The daughter wants to go pee, they have to stop by a rest stop. Ray is an alcoholic, he can't bear buying him some alcohol when taking drinks in the store. When they are about to move out, the daughter remembers that she might have left her toy in the restroom. Joanne goes back to take it for her, while Ray finds it at the back seat and accidentally spills coffee on the chair. Ray's too annoyed to notice that his daughter has gone away. The daughter is attracted to an old store by a lovely balloon. Suddenly, a white dog comes out, she's very scared and steps backward when keeps calling Dad. Dad tells her to stay still, then he picks up a rock to scare the dog. But the daughter has fallen down, Ray attempts to grab her hand but unsuccessfully. In a coma, Ray senses that the daughter has died. His mind is totally blank, he's really terrified. The wife goes crazy and can't stop beating him. Ray pushes her by the side, he closes the eyes to calm down. After a while, Ray is lifted out of the chaos and the surroundings turn brighter. He also seems to hear his daughter's voice. Luckily, his daughter's still fine. Her arms just get broken a little bit. They immediately take her to the nearest hospital. Ray carefully tells the receptionist about his daughter's condition, hoped to quickly see a doctor help his daughter treat her arms. Because there are so many patients that they have to line up. While waiting, Ray and Joanne have a chance to get closer. Joanne's really happy that his mood has got better now. He's finally know how to take responsibility for this family. They laugh out loud like never before. Eventually, it's their turn, but firstly, this personnel keeps asking about Ray's career before having the daughter checked. He also asks if there's any history of mental illness, is she having any problem with allergy? Or will they agree to let the kid donate organs? They have never thought about that, so both firmly refuse. He tells them that their medical insurance can't be used here, Ray tells he can afford the fees. After the long process of questioning, the nurse finally calls them in to prepare the room for their daughter. After that, Ray hears this woman calls someone and tell them about his daughter's condition. But because it's urgent, so he doesn't think much about that. The doctor, who wearing glasses, begins a quick check for the kid. He lights at her pupils and can't help praising such beautiful eyes. He tells her head gets injured, he arranges to do a CT check for her. Lots of people here love the daughter. A nurse even gives her a stuffed dog when he brings her to the checking room. The hospital rules that just one spouse of the patient is allowed to follow. His wife decides to come with her. Ray waits for them in the hall and falls asleep for a couple of hours. When waking up, they haven't come out yet. He asks the personnel here, but the old one did switch shift, while this woman tells him there's no record of his daughter in this hospital. Ray's really angry and breaks into the room. The hospital guards try to stop him, while a doctor sees the scene and asks him what happened. He tells all things since they got the daughter examined in the morning, but a couple of hours have gone, they haven't come out yet. This doctor sounds to be a good man, he helps Ray check the record but can't find any information about his daughter. Ray thinks it's impossible. Suddenly, Ray sees the nursing pushing her daughter into the room that night. The doctor calls him over. She admits having seen Ray go here to check his head, but she didn't see his daughter or wife. Ray loses control, he tells that this girl is totally lying to them. The doctor sees his head is really injured, he guesses it makes Ray feel unconscious. He tells the nurse to give Ray one injection, then locks him in a room. Waiting until the guard has gone, Ray finds something in a drawer and stabs directly into his leg to keep him conscious. Then he breaks the glasses to escape and keeps finding them. The guard runs into him when he hears the sound. But Ray has left and hidden in a car behind the hospital. The guard calls receptionists not to let Ray come in again and goes away. Ray stays in his car and doesn't know what to do. He suddenly sees a police car, he stops them and tells them all about the loss of his family. He thinks that this hospital must be an illegal organization. After having a look at the evidence that Ray shows, the police go to the hospital to check. That doctor calls the doctor Ray wants to find get back to the hospital. Then that doctor brings them to the CT room, but records on the computer show that the last time this machine was used is 9:07 AM. It means his daughter didn't use this machine that night. It's actually a suspicious point because they did bring his wife and daughter to another place. At this time, the doctor wearing glasses comes in, but he just tells the same thing as the nurse told them before. He says that Ray went here with an injured head. He even told the doctor that he had just gone through a car accident. Plus, the doctor also sees his action a little weird at that time, so he tells Ray to recheck his head, but Ray rejects. He just wants to get back to the hall, waiting for his wife Abby. The police turn confused because Ray said to them that his wife's name is Joanne. Ray tells it's his ex-wife's name. He doubts that the hospital must have checked his information in the medical insurance and knows about Abby. Then takes it to make Ray thinks he's crazy. They must have kidnapped his daughter to do something shady. The guard remembers of hospital's camera, but it's too old so they just can record 30 seconds every minute. There is only Ray, his wife and daughter are not here. Ray thinks the hospital has intentionally cut that scene, he begs the police to check around the hospital. But because it's not enough proofs to show that he lost his family in this hospital, so they can't help him. After that, Ray finds his daughter's scarf beside a hospital bed. It's proof, but just only with Ray's word, it can't prove that it's actually his daughter's. The doctor also tells that he will be fuzzy and can't figure out between reality and imagination. He calls a psychologist to help him out. After a while, this woman easily let Ray believe in her, and skillfully makes him tell all the truth. It turns out that his wife died in a car accident because of his alcoholism 8 years ago. She tells the police that this death has given him a great shock such that he can't get out of his unconsciousness. He doesn't realize that his wife and daughter died and even thinks that he's at the time when this accident happened. Ray brings them to a construction site and tells them all things that happened that day. The police find a broken mirror on the ground. It's his daughter's. It turns out that she always keeps it in her pocket. They also find some blood covered under the snow. It's the blood of Ray. Seeing the blood, a policeman immediately calls the homicide cop. He starts to believe that Ray is really a crazy man. Ray tells the psychologist that the police is about to harm him. She persuades him to think carefully one more time about how the accident came about. He still remembers that they did quarrel, plus, Ray also has a mental problem. There were no dog nor accident, but because his wife and daughter drove him crazy, so he hurled a stone straight to his daughter, then even attacked his wife when she found out. Ray sent them into the hospital because he used to lose his family one time before. So his mind can't stand the same tragedy happening to him again, so he made up all the things to get out of the panic and fear. The doctor asks him where he hid his wife and daughter's body. But he's totally dumbfounded, doesn't know what to do. Did he really kill his wife and daughter? When the police are about to handcuff Ray, a dog suddenly comes out. Suddenly, the scene of his daughter fell down. He and his wife took her to the hospital shows up in his mind. Ray is like waking up. He's almost tricked by this bunch of people. He quickly snatches a gun from the police and holds the doctor. He forces them to stay in a warehouse, then asks the doctor to give him her card to enter the hospital. He pushes a shelf to block the door. Then, Ray drives the police car towards the hospital. On the way, he comes by the nanny room, which brings him back to the memories. His ex-wife was also pregnant for 8 months before she died in the car accident. Ray doesn't want this tragedy happens again. He's determined to risk his life to save him out. He steals a white blouse and successfully breaks in. Ray uses the elevator to get down to the surgery room, but he doesn't know that it needs a key to operate. Ray's freaked out when a guard shows up right before him. He pulls this man in and immediately closes the elevator. He forces this guy to give him the key. That guard isn't an idiot. When Ray's distracted, he quickly jumps in and controls him. After struggling for a while, Ray finally beats him. He gets down to the room and finds a stuffed dog one nurse gave his daughter that day. It makes him more determined that his daughter is hidden here. He hides after a wall and sees 2 doctors coming out. They push a trolley on which clearly noted human organs. Ray comes in and sees 2 dead bodies in here. He supposes that his wife and daughter got murdered. He freaks out after uncovering the sheet. Under it is 2 young men. One has taken out his breast and the other has lost his eyes. He can't stand when remembering the doctor did praise her daughter's eyes. Ray sees a nurse come by and bring these organs to the other room. He immediately follows her and finds they are about to do surgery on the daughter. He moves in and points the gun at them. His wife is lying unconsciously behind the curtain. He takes the daughter to his wife and intends to leave. When a doctor hugs him from behind, others quickly inject sedatives into him. Ray tries to resist and accidentally shoots at the oxygen machine, causing an explosion. The doctors are in a panic. Taking this chance, Ray brings his wife and daughter out of this mess. One doctor warns him not to go out and get shot in his legs. No one can stop him from saving him out here. Finally, they get to his car and successfully save his wife and daughter. Still, in fact, all of these things are just Ray's illusion. He just saved a patient who is about to do surgery. The organs pushcart and the 2 young men are also what Ray imagines. That day, the daughter fell down and died right after that. He pushed his wife and also accidentally killed her. Then, he puts 2 bodies inside his car boot and drives away. But Ray doesn't know that. He still keeps finding them in hopelessness. At first, I also guessed that it's a classic schizophrenia disease, then it turns out that the male lead is right, but finally, it's all his imagination and I'm right. Okay, that's the end. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Harry will be back with a new movie soon. See ya!